Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM. Good morning to you. It's Friday, September 30th, 2016, the last day of the month. So that means this is the last Community Conversations of the month, and we'll be getting ready to go into the weekend. Kato Wonder is in the studio with you, and I have my co-host with me, Mrs. Quabila Harden, in the studio as well. And in the studio joining us today is Mr. David McClain. He is a candidate for the Jonesboro City Council, Ward 6, Position 2. KLEK and the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council does not endorse nor support any candidate for office, nor was any compensation provided for this interview. This interview is provided for educational purposes only so that you can be an informed voter when you step into the voting booth. Now, we do encourage you to get out and vote. Last day of voter registration is October 10th, and the first day of early voting is October 24th. So make sure that you do get out and vote. How you doing today, Mr. McClain?
I'm doing well.
All right, thank you so much for being our guest today. We're just going to get right into it. I want you to please tell the listeners and those out there watching a little bit more about yourself, where you come from, how did you get to Jonesboro, anything else that you'd like to share.
Okay, so I've been here for it'll be 20 years next year. Got here, mom was a professor here at A-State.
Okay.
She taught in elementary ed and went to junior high school here, and also went to Arkansas State for my undergrad, which is in business, and then my master's, which is in public administration.
Okay.
And from graduation to now, after graduated, moved around, not much as far as jobs, but in a couple of different jobs until I worked for Congressman Marion Berry back in 2009, 2010.
Okay.
And worked for him for a couple of years. Enjoyed my service, enjoyed working towards a goal, working towards serving those constituents in the 1st Congressional District. That was my one of my favorite things. That's one of the main reasons I'm running. Just serving those that are in the area. One of the greatest joys that I've had was doing that. And so now working at Arkansas State in development and fundraising.
On how you want to help the people.
Yeah. So what I would like to see, this is three things I would love to see us work on. Three things that I would like to see us work on: the first responder pay, quality of life here in Jonesboro, and also infrastructure. I think we have to invest in those three things for us to have the kind of city we want to have, and I feel like we cannot not invest in those.
Okay. And so can you elaborate on what you mean about infrastructure?
Yeah, so infrastructure would be anything from drainage to, of course, traffic is a big issue, right? My friends in Atlanta would say y'all don't have a traffic issue, but I would say
we're headed for one with the growth that we're having.
Right, and we are a city that's growing. We're a city that will continue to see about 3 to 5% growth every year, and so we're a city of 70,000, a little over 70,000. We'll probably get closer to that 100,000 mark. So, but infrastructure, again, going back to that, would love to see drainage projects worked on. Would love to see our roads. I'm a big fan of roundabouts. I know we have one under construction right now in the city. I think that helps traffic flow a lot better, but we'd love to see those things in place.
Okay.
Do you have any specific plans or ideas to help improve the traffic flow if you were to become a member of the Jonesboro City Council?
Again, I'm not I would have to work with the highway department. I'm not a traffic guy, but I would love to work with them and look at other ideas, look at what others are doing to improve their traffic flow and their traffic congestion problems. I think that's the biggest thing that I would want to do, because again, I'm not an expert on that, but I would be willing to work with experts on that.
I would love to see more interaction between all the departments with the city council, because, and like I mentioned with everybody that comes on, we have to look at 5 to 10 at least 5 to 10 years from now, at least 5 at the least. Okay, what is the city going to potentially look like? There may be an area that looks great now for development, but you have to think about the growth that's going to happen around that property.
Right.
So I really hope that moving forward that the city council is able to work closely with the streets department, with the city planning and the various other agencies.
Right.
Okay, so I saw a news story about there's a bank that's partnering with someone to bring a synthetic ice ring to the city. Well, it's in the talk. They're talking about it. How much influence does the city council have with that? Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with that
Okay.
that project specifically, but I think the council can have influence in bringing business, in bringing any type of economic development. I believe that the council has a huge opportunity to influence it. There are things that I believe the council can do. Number one, to help recruit, of course, outside jobs, but I think one we could do also would be to grow our own here in Northeast Arkansas, working with Arkansas State. I believe we could work with the College of Business, the College of Engineering to grow our own pipeline of entrepreneurs. I think that's a great I think that's a cool project. I'm not an ice skater, but at the same time, I think that's something cool that people may get behind and get excited about.
But for those that may want to know more, you can go to the KAIT website or your mobile app. This idea will be discussed Tuesday at the Jonesboro City Council meeting. So if you're interested, go to the City Council meeting and learn more about this project. Okay, so since we're talking about other areas to bring revenue to the city, I know Mackenzie likes to talk about, and I need to do more research on the convention centers that are they coming to Jonesboro?
The one off of I-555 is under construction, and the one that's coming to ASU, construction is supposed to begin in the near future. But Mr. McClain, what are your thoughts on the two convention centers? Do you think that both of them can succeed and coexist together?
I don't know. That remains to be seen, but we'd love to have both be successful since both are underway. We can't stop the train, so I figure we need to get behind the projects. But in my humble opinion, would love to see the one at Arkansas State do well. Would love to see the one here by I-55 do well, because I don't want us to turn into what other cities have had happen in terms of having two convention centers and they fall, and we don't need that. We don't need that to happen.
Okay. If you are to be a part of the, be elected and be on the city council, how would you work for your ward? First of all, let me back up.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to meet with various residents that live in your ward?
Yes.
Okay. And what are some of the main concerns? Just want to mention, you did do an online survey,
yes,
which I took part in.
Great.
In fact, I've got the survey pulled up now.
Great.
In which you can go to David McClain for City Council on Facebook, and there's a link to the survey. In fact, I'm looking at it now. And the first question is, which one of the following issues matters most to you right now? And the questions, the choices that you have are crime, city planning and development, drainage issues, traffic issues, park and recreation funding, and city employee pay. Now, we've already talked a little bit about the drainage, but let's going down this list, let's talk about crime. What are your thoughts on the crime situation in Jonesboro?
Yeah, so by far crime is leading in that survey. That's the biggest concern. Yes, biggest concern right now. So that's unfortunate. We're a city that, as we said, we're growing. So we have to invest in our first responders. I believe we have to make sure that they have all the resources and tools that they need to be successful, and that they can do their job professionally and efficiently. Does that mean that we have a huge police force, or we use analytics? I don't know what we should do, but I would work with the police to make sure, hey, what do you guys need? What do you guys to be successful? Again, because we can't have the kind of city we want with everyone not feeling safe. We can't recruit businesses. We can't get people to move here and feel, okay, I'm going to be safe in Jonesboro if crime is the main thing right now. But going back to your question about meeting with constituents in the ward, drainage and crime are the main two things for Ward 6. Again, we have to do a better job of making sure everyone feels safe, every man, woman, and child feels safe in the ward, in the city, and that we fix the drainage in Ward 6.
Okay. And then what area? Can you give us a general idea of where Ward 6 is?
Yeah, so Ward 6 goes east Parker Road. If you go over the bypass, all right, behind Fletcher Dodge, and you go north, go all the way north, all the way to Johnson Avenue. Almost in it's kind of a.
I'm trying to visualize it.
Yeah. So if you go out from East Parker Road all the way north to Johnson Avenue, you have some parts that run out, which is crazy. We have a road that runs, and that's in the county.
Okay.
But that's Ward 6.
Okay.
So yeah, that's at Prospect Road, Ray Street, all the way up to Old Bridger Road.
Okay.
Once again, we're speaking with Mr. David McClain. He is a candidate for the Jonesboro City Council, Ward 6, Position 2C. If you got a question for Mr. McClain, you can give us a call at 870-277-1080. Once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. And we have a brand new feature. You can actually text us at the number, and you can actually text your questions or comments as well. So once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. You can call the number or you can text the number, and you can also leave your comments and your questions on our Facebook live stream. Okay, another option that is on your survey is city employee pay, and of course that is a hot topic. We recently passed the raises for the police department. Now they're working on the fire department as well as the other city employees. So just kind of want to get your thoughts on the pay situation.
Yeah, so thinking about that, again, I'm going to touch a little bit. I'm going to just touch mainly on first responders right now, because those are the two that are at the top, right? So in my opinion, I think we should make sure we take care of them first, okay? Because we have to have a safe city. We have to have that, and then move from there. And we got to look at the budget and figure out where our priorities are, and make sure we take care of them. Make sure we make our checkbook and our priorities match up for this city.
Okay, because I don't think anybody is against pay increases for the first responders, but there are some people say, well, let's make sure that this doesn't bust the budget 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, where we're in a situation of how can we sustain these raises for these people who have earned it.
Right. So for me, and this is something I've thought about, something I've looked at even with my master's in public administration. So looking at how a city operates, looking at how city budgets form, all that good stuff. I know this is a three-letter word that most people don't like to say, especially during this time of the year, but a public safety tax. Something that, number one, takes care of our first responders, but then also would relieve a little pressure off the general budget. Two, again, fund what we need and give us some other areas to invest in. Again, parks and rec, whether it be streets, whether it be any number of things that we could generate. Because number one, I know one thing is going to happen. We're going to have to pay our first responders no matter what we decide this November. No matter what happens, we're going to have to pay for the bill that we just incurred, right? So it would make sense to me to have something in place permanently that we don't have to readdress it every 3 to 4 years.
Okay. And then discussing the pay, you have your non-uniform workers that, well, I say non-uniform, but like
sanitation, parks, yes.
So then they may have an issue at some point. Hopefully, you all will say, okay, we've got the first responders taken care of. Now let's really take a hard look at these other departments. So would that be also on your priorities list?
And that's why I said what I said as far as the the public safety tax.
Okay.
So if I have that, then again, maybe I can relieve a little pressure, take some of what was being used, and spread that out, because we can't keep having the same conversation every 3 years. We cannot have this conversation every 4 years. It just doesn't make sense to have it constantly.
And to possibly get the tax passed, do you think it would take every alderman to talk to their constituents to say, okay, this is why this is important? Like, how do you feel that this issue can be best handled to get the people, the residents of Jonesboro, to say this is necessary?
I would ask the question: what type of city do you want?
Okay.
Can we afford not to invest in it? Is my question.
Okay. And so let's move on to the quality of life.
Okay.
There's been talk about an aquatic center.
Yeah.
And then a dog park,
right,
and some other things. So what are some of your ideas?
Oh, I would love to see all of them. Aquatic center. I think about it in terms of the city we should strive to be.
Okay.
And we need to offer all those amenities in order for us to recruit and keep our young people that graduate from Arkansas State. We have to have those amenities.
Okay.
We shouldn't be a city where people say you don't go to Jonesboro, you leave Jonesboro. Okay, that should never come out of anyone's mouth, because we have a great quality of life. We have a dog park. We have, what I love to see, but these are big goals. Okay. I'll give you some of my big goals. Of course, the aquatic center, but also a botanical garden, something similar to that. I would love to see one of those, and also we'd love to see some type of museum. We have one now on campus. It's a visual art museum, but we'd love to see something different, something that, again, when we, number one, recruit our doctors to town, they can say, hey, we have more than one thing to offer. Or if we recruit, if we're trying to recruit a business to town, we say, hey, we have these things to offer. We have those bike lanes, we have those walking trails, not in one location, but actually spread out throughout the city. We have a green space that helps. I believe quality of life and economic development go hand in hand. If I have a great quality of life, I'm gonna have some. It's gonna be easy to recruit someone to come here.
Okay.
Once again, we're speaking with Mr. David McClain, candidate for Jonesboro City Council Ward 6, Position 2. You can call or text your questions or comments to 870-277-1080. Once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. You can also leave your comments on our Facebook live stream. Mr. McClain, I'm looking at your survey, and it says, do you think that Jonesboro does enough to encourage ASU students to stay here after they graduate? I want to kind of get your comments on that, and maybe even some possible suggestions, if you were on the council, things you would advocate for to give students more to do to not only while they're in school, but when they graduate.
Yeah, so the survey results right now, I'll tell you right now that the leading answer is no. That everyone feels that we are not doing the most, that we're doing what we should to keep our students here. And I think it comes back to quality of life. Like I said, quality of life and economic development go hand in hand. We have to have a certain quality of life that students feel, I don't have to go to Nashville, Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, Fayetteville. I can have that here in Jonesboro. We have to offer that. Again, the question has to be, can we afford not to invest in it? If we're not investing in it, then it's going to cost us in the long run.
Okay. And I know we've had several professors on, and some people from the nursing and health professions, and they talked about, since the adoption of is it NYIT?
Yes.
That has expanded the medical program a little,
yes,
and encouraged some people to stay here to finish their studies concerning that. What do you think about other departments? What other departments, or how can the city possibly work with ASU to help increase, I don't know.
Actually, let's say that one until after the break, because I want to kind of tie that into a bigger question. In the past, there's kind of been some tension between the city and Arkansas State University. So how can the city and the university improve their relationship to be to the better benefit of both parties? We'll come back and we'll have Mr. McClain's answer for that. Once again, we're speaking with Mr. David McClain, candidate for Ward 6, Position 2 of the Jonesboro City Council. You listen to Community Conversations. This is KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Does your child have a problem with lying? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Every good relationship is built upon honesty. So when we notice our child struggling to tell the truth, we know it's time to take action. However, Dr. Scott Turansky explains that common discipline techniques don't quite address the problem of lying. Instead, here are some specific ways to encourage honesty. First, be sure to teach your child the difference between playing make-believe and lying. It's important for young kids to understand when it's appropriate to enjoy pretend stories and when the truth needs to be told. Second, be proactive in teaching about honesty. This might mean reading books or watching shows that communicate to your child why lying is wrong. Instill honesty in your kids. And remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook.
New St. John Missionary Baptist Church Pastors Aid Committee presents a fish fry fundraiser Sunday, October 9th at the church located at 308 North Main Street in Jonesboro. The time is 1 o'clock p.m. The deadline to pre-order plates is September 24th. The plates include 3 pieces of fish, choice of 2 sides, dessert, and drink. More information is available at the church at 870-932-6915.
Lame excuses and other forms of voter apathy have no place in American democracy. Show that you care, do your duty, and go vote. This is a reminder from Cheryl Underwood Radio.
From the KLEK Community Calendar, the North Point Church of Christ will host a food giveaway for families in need every third Saturday from 8 o'clock a.m. to 11 o'clock a.m. The address to the church is 500 Pepper Drive in Jonesboro. In addition, they conduct a Bible study Thursdays at noon with brown bag lunches given away. More information is available at 870-530-1542.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. This is your co-host for the day, Kobila Harden, along with Mr. Cato Wonder and our special guest, Mr. David McLean. Thank you, Mr. David, for joining us. I hope that you all have been paying attention to the first part of the interview. We've asked quite a few hard questions, I think, but David is answering them very eloquently, and we thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to get back into the question the topic we were talking about before we went to break. And basically, to break it down, we want your thoughts or views on how the city can work with Arkansas State, wholly to increase or improve the relationship, to encourage students to stay in the city, or maybe with some of the different colleges to, I'm not going to say better their programs, but do something different with their programs to encourage students to, okay, I'm sorry. I lost my thought there, but
encourage students to stay. I
get
the gist. The gist of the question is, how do we get students to stay here? And as the city work with Arkansas State, we have to work together. We have to. It's like a marriage. We're together. All right. So we either win together or we lose together. Okay. All right. That's the reality of Arkansas State and the city of Jonesboro, and we have to work together. We have to find ways, either if it's in growing our own students that are entrepreneurs, they say, hey, I have a business idea. I want to be here in Jonesboro. What can the city offer? There are different things that the city can offer. There are different incentives that the city can offer, that the state can offer, to help our students stay here and grow. And we're in an area that's in the Delta that some people may say, oh, Jonesboro's not the Delta. We are in the Delta.
Yeah.
We are.
If we're not in the Delta, then we're full of people from the Delta. Because myself, Helena, West Helena, Kobila,
Phillips County, come on.
Mariana, Lee County.
And we have to make sure that we can grow our keep our students here. Again, once they graduate, we don't want them to go off and we don't want them to leave.
That's right. So do you think, and this could be a question for another day. I would like to see, I'm going to just say this.
Okay.
I would like to see ASU offer more attractive, I hate to say packages, incentives for the students that are attending the different colleges. You mean
in terms of what? In terms of like scholarships? Terms of?
Okay, I'm just gonna use the business department.
Okay.
They have a service on campus. I met with the lady. She came and did an interview, and she told us about the program that they offer for the city of Jones. It's on Arkansas State campus, but residents of the city can utilize this service. And it's free.
Small Business Administration.
Yes.
Okay.
So, if other departments offer some other, incentives or options as a student is going through the program, really giving them another leg up on furthering their, whatever their degree choice.
Yeah.
Furthering their career in their degree.
Okay.
I don't know. That's another topic for another day. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, the Small Business Center is a great tool for us to have. It's a great tool.
Okay, so moving forward, you are elected. We did talk about, what are some other things you hope to bring to the table?
A willingness to listen,
Okay.
a willingness to hear from constituents and say, I hear you. I want to work with you to make this not just my ward but the city better.
Okay.
One thing I would love to do, and this goes back to my previous days, but would love to have periods where we go out, maybe quarterly, and we listen to the different parts of the city, or have quarterly meetings with my ward, update them on what's going on in the city and hear their concerns. That's something I think is underutilized. Just getting out and going to see the people. I think you have to do that and let them hear you and let them see you and let them hear your voice, and you take back their concerns and work towards solving them.
Now, we just recently had a series of ward meetings. Have they had the Ward 6 meeting yet? And if
Yes.
so, did you attend?
I did attend.
And what kind of feedback did you get from it?
Right, the biggest right now, again, it goes back to the infrastructure and crime.
Okay.
Flooding and hearing, it broke my heart to hear some ladies who live their life and are retired and just trying to have a great quality of life now. To hear them say that their house has been shot up, to hear that they are worried about violence, they're worried about some young people walking down the street and thinking they're going to do harm to them. So that was some of the feedback. Again, goes back to the survey. Crime is a huge thing right now. You wouldn't think that. We're still considered a small town, but with big city issues.
And I think that's especially in light of the unfortunate incident where the lady, was abducted from Dollar Tree
Right.
and was later found dead. I mean,
Yes.
things like that, definitely do have people concerned.
Yeah.
I want to ask this question, talking about, kind of tie this into the crime issue. We have the West End Association.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly everything that they do, but I do know they look out for their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the North Jonesboro Neighborhood Initiative. I have a friend that has expressed an interest. She lives on the south side, and she would love to see something of that nature, to be organized in her neighborhood.
Right.
So what are your ideas or thoughts on how to possibly get these various organizations on each side of town?
It just takes one person saying, I'm willing to start it. Is really the way it starts. That's truly it. We've talked about that in my neighborhood, having a neighborhood watch where we had some incidences where young man came through trying to open doors and didn't get in any. My son even saw him and didn't tell me until after the fact. But he got caught later on trying to, so I think that's every neighborhood has to be vigilant, not to profile a person, but profile a person's behavior.
Okay.
Am I looking in car doors? Am I trying to open up doors? Am I trying to open up windows? Things like that. We all have to be on the lookout. We all know that one person that looks out their blinds every day and can tell you what's going on down the street, what's going on in everybody's business. So I think you have to have that person, but you have to have that one person that also steps up and says, hey, I'm willing to lead the charge and make sure that we are vigilant.
Once again, we are speaking with Mr. David McClain, candidate for Jonesboro City Council, Ward 6, Position 2. If you have a comment or a question for Mr. McClain, you can call or text 870-277-1080. Once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. I'm still looking at your questionnaire, which you can find on his Facebook, David McClain for City Council. And it says, do you think the city presents a clean and attractive image to visitors and newcomers? So that kind of ties into the whole property code thing. As you know, they attempted to pass a property maintenance code. It was originally passed, but then it was recalled in the repeal election. But the issue still hasn't went away. There's still issues of blighted properties that people are still concerned about. So at some point, the property maintenance code issue is probably going to come before the council again. So I just want to kind of get your thoughts on that whole situation.
Okay. So yeah, in looking at this survey, the answer is yes. They do believe that we present a clean image to visitors. We are a city that's growing. We are a city that's growing. We have growing pains. The previous property maintenance code, of course, was shot down by the voters. They made their voice loud and clear on that. However, I do believe that we have to have something. I can drive down parts of Ward 6 and find areas where homes are falling apart, where and that's not good for anybody. That's not good for the person that's living in that house. That's not good for property value in the city of Jonesboro. So we have to do something to address that. We cannot, and we should hold landlords accountable when their properties are falling apart and they allow someone to live in there and they collect their rent but don't take care of the building or the house or whatever it is. I do believe we should hold them accountable as well.
No, that's right. I remember back in the day, residents of different apartments and different neighborhoods, they used to have like a neighborhood or homeowners association where they would come together and meet and then present these issues to the landlord or property manager. I would love to see something of that nature come back and be more present. So for those of you that are living in certain areas, consider organizing something like this. Don't just let the landlord get away with whatever.
Right.
Don't just pay your money and not get, what you need in return.
Right.
So with your survey, can people still participate in your survey?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I have it pulled up on the screen
right
now.
It's going to be up. It's going to be up we'll have it up.
And speaking of which, I'm looking at this question. Jonesboro could use more parks, nature activities, restaurants, festivals, and other family-friendly activities, shopping venues, entertainment venues, museums, larger fine arts venues, or others. So what kind of feedback have you gotten on that?
Right now, let me look at it. I'm pulling it. I got it pulled up. The biggest thing, oh my goodness. Here we go.
I was gonna say,
we got.
I'll tell you what.
The biggest. Go ahead. What do you think? I'm gonna let you guess.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I voted for.
What'd you vote for?
Restaurants, cause I like to eat.
I like to eat too. You gonna be at the downtown barbecue fest?
You'll probably see me fall up in there.
Okay. All right. Are you cooking or you just eating?
No, your boy Cato doesn't cook.
Okay. All right. Well, the biggest thing right now that everyone says they would like to see more of are festivals and other family events.
And that makes sense because,
yes.
People want entertainment options in the city.
I think that was my choice.
Because I do got to say this, though, to everybody out there listening. If people bring entertainment options to the city, y'all need to come out. Because it costs money to put on entertainment. So
yes.
If someone puts on an event, come out. Don't complain. Well, there's nothing to do in Jonesboro. And anyway, I'm getting on that too. and these are my own thoughts. These do not reflect the thoughts of Kayla K and the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council.
Okay. All right. So what's the next item on the survey? You have it pulled up.
Well, the last question is use this comment to ask the question or address some other concern that you may have. So since that is the last question on there, is there any other concerns that have been brought to your attention that we may not have touched upon?
Yeah. One of the comments that someone made was more teen activities. I do think we need to number one, make sure they have opportunities to not get involved in something negative, but also make sure they're involved in something positive, involved in something that helps them better themselves.
And something that's affordable. Most teenagers work fast food jobs,
Right.
or they're not making as much as other adults, and so something that's affordable, safe,
Right.
family friendly.
And tying into that, transitioning, what are your thoughts on, and we kind of touched on this earlier, but kind of get back to it, as far as like the water park and the other kind of parks, do you think the best route is for the city to completely take this on, or to engage in a public-private partnership where they recruit a private entity to manage the facility? What do you think is the best route to go as far as things like that?
Yeah, not 100% sure, but I think we do need to have something along those lines. When towns around us have that, we need it. It's time. It's past time. Should we engage in a public-private partnership? And probably something. Yes, but I would say we would ask the corporate partners here in town to help us bring that here. Not just the city taking on by itself as far as the bill, but we work with different businesses in town and say, hey, can you partner with us to make this happen?
Okay. Alrighty, so we're gonna lighten up the mood a little bit.
Okay.
And
Well, it has been dark. I mean, we're just talking.
no,
You haven't beat me up too bad.
What's dark about talking about a water park?
no,
Well, I guess it depends
no.
on who you ask.
Okay, so I want to get into community service and
Okay.
organizations that you're involved with. I want people to see the other side of you.
Okay.
What you're involved in.
Okay. So right now, currently serving on, and these ladies are listening, so I'm thankful they're listening. But Paces, I'm on their board.
Shout out to them.
Great organization that helps young mothers, young fathers figure out what to do, what not to do, right? In terms of raising the family, and also I've coached youth sports for a long time. Some people may say I don't know what I'm doing, but been involved with the kids that way. So those are some of the things that I do. Trying not to spread out all my time too thin, but
Okay.
those are a couple of organizations and things that I like to do, like to help out with.
Okay, and I want to give a shout out to Paces as well. I actually, a long time ago, I'm not going to tell my age.
Uh-oh.
I was a client of theirs, and then I moved my way up to become an employee.
Awesome.
And I really, really love the work that the services they offer to the
Right.
community, and it's it's a great help to the young parents that come through the program.
Right.
So I'm happy to see that Paces is still going
They
and
are.
still alive and well. And
Yes.
And I want to shout them out as well. They actually have been on this show before, and they also gave us a donation of some old equipment, which we have put to good use here at KLEK. So we wanted to just want to publicly thank them for that donation.
Good.
And I do want to make one announcement since we're talking about community service things. Today is the United Way's Day of Caring. So if you'd like to learn more information, go see them. Their office is located on Main Street. No, on Union Avenue.
Well, I'm looking at the flyer that you've posted on our page, and more information is available at this number, 870-935-3658. Once again, that phone number is 870-935-3658, the United Way Day of Caring. So more information is available at that number if you would like to participate.
All right, so let's talk about more if you are elected. Do you see yourself getting more involved in other community organizations, or just trying to maybe implement your own program of some kind?
What do you mean implement my own?
Some type of community outreach, something. I know you said that you did some youth coaching.
Right.
So would you continue doing, are you presently doing coaching?
Not
Are you
right
pre-
now.
Okay.
Again, some people don't think I can coach, but no, I'm kidding. No, I'm not coaching right now, but I will love to. Again,
Okay.
coaching any sport and every sport that I can that they'll allow me.
Okay.
I always offer my services, no matter if it's to the coach or to the city, and tell them, hey, I'm willing to help out and coach.
Okay.
But yes, I would stay involved with that as long as I can. I have 3 small children that are involved, so I want to be involved as much as I can until they tell me to quit.
So how old are your children, if you don't
My
mind?
kids are 11, 9, and 7. I have to think about it for a second. Sometimes I forget, and they say, "Dad, do you not know how old I am?" Yes, I know.
But I'm sure they keep you mighty busy.
They do.
So how have they been supporting you? Or I know they're too young to really understand city government and things of that nature, but have you tried to engage them?
Oh, absolutely. So I grew up in a family where we watched the news and we were very engaged in the political system and the process. One that took me as a third grader to the Clinton inauguration the first time, and we went back the second time.
Wow.
And so yes, very involved. We watch the news. They know what's going on. They're very aware, very alert of what we have very lively discussions around the dinner table.
Okay.
So yeah, they're very involved, and they ask questions about the city council and what it does and how it operates. And so it's been cool to go through that with them and just remember back on my time as a child and seeing and hearing and all that good stuff.
Okay. Now, if you are to become a part of the city council, I know this is probably a question you really can't answer much right now, but we had a discussion with another member, someone that was running before, and we were talking about how there is a lack of, I hate to say lack of education on city government, how things operate. Would you like to see the council maybe do some school visits or host some other community things for children to educate them more? Because at some point they're going to be voters.
Right.
And they're going to have to understand how things work. So would you like to see some increase in education?
I mean, absolutely. I think you got to be a lifelong learner, but you also have to make sure our students, our kids understand what's going on. We have to, yes, we can do it at school, but we also have to, again, kind of going back to my point of taking the show on the road, taking the council to the wards, taking the council to the different parts of the city and hosting those events where we talk about what we're doing and the process for what we're doing.
Okay, so can the residents organize their own meeting and then you show up? They, see if it aligns with their schedule, or how would you go about handling it?
Good question. Depending on timing and all that good stuff, trying to set a date. Would love to work with different either homeowners associations or whatever to set up a community meeting where we actually got to, again, have a conversation that went back and forth, where we worked together and got to move forward together.
All right, so those of you out there listening, if you're interested, not just with Mr. David, but anyone that's running for any ward or that serves as your current alderman, please reach out to them and try to get to know them more and express your concerns.
All right, and we're going to get ready to go to break. We are speaking with Mr. David McClain, candidate for Jonesboro City Council, Ward 6, Position 2. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, our community parking sale plus pancake breakfast. So make sure that you come out to that and find you a good deal on some good used items. Or if you got something that you want to sell, you can sell it as well. It's just $10 to reserve a space. You can also get you a hot pancake breakfast as well, and the proceeds go to help keep your KLEK on the air. So we hope to see you there tomorrow morning. Whistle Stop Bistro and Catering, 5435 East Nelson Avenue in Jonesboro. KLEK Community Parking Sale plus pancake breakfast. We'll also broadcast live. Don't miss it. We'll be back. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Every year, millions of Americans get caught up in March Madness. No, not the basketball tournament, but the annual scramble to get your taxes filed by April 15th. Review your returns from the last few years and assess what adjustments should be made to put you in the best position to not owe the IRS any money next year. For example, do you need to adjust your withholding? Did you get married, divorced, or become a new parent? Or make other major changes in the past year? Did you change jobs or earn income from a side business? If you haven't retained a tax advisor to help you with year-round planning, there's no time like now. It's okay to use a retail tax service to file your taxes, but you need to have a professional on call to help you with year-round tax planning. Resolve now to avoid March Madness next year. I'm Alfred Edwin Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Attention members and guests. KLEK 102.5 FM and Legends 1025 presents the A-State After Party for grown folks. It's going down after every Arkansas State home football game this season at Legends 1025, 1025 West Johnson Avenue in front of Riceland Foods. Admission starts at just $5. 21 and up to enter. Live broadcast on KLEK 102.5 FM. Music by DJ Sharkzilla. Hosted by Mr. Chew. Let's cheer on the Arkansas State Red Wolves to victory. And then celebrate after each home game at Legends 1025. These events are KLEK fundraisers.
The first 30 ladies get in free.
Experience the joy with Bishop Adrian R. Rogers of Fullness of Joy Church, 3307 Ray Street, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72401.
The key to our representative form of American democracy is the right to vote. When you cast a ballot on Election Day, you make America stronger. Now is the time to register. Election Day will soon be here. Do your part and vote. This is a reminder from Cheryl Underwood Radio.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK. You're listening to, your co-host for the day is Quavila Harden with Mr. Cato Wonder and our special guest, Mr. David McClain, who is running for Alderman Ward 6 Position 2. Okay, we've had a very interesting conversation. I thank you, David, for all of your insight on all of our questions. And as you know, we've talked about this before, that David has a survey available, and please, let's go ahead and give some contact information for you and where people can find the survey.
Yeah, so you can find the survey, number one, through my link on my Facebook page. So my Facebook page is David McClain for City Council. You can go on there, click on the link, and fill out the survey. It's pretty simple. My website is also David McClain for JonesboroCityCouncil.com. You can go on there and find out who I am, what I believe, and find out any information you want to about me.
Okay. And are you going to host any meet and greet events? Are you going to participate in any forums or anything? Where can people actually meet you in person?
So we'll have more. We'll have another meet and greet coming up, but I have not set a final date.
All right,
I will, and I'll post it, and we'll share it and all that good stuff.
All right, just check his Facebook page to learn more about when you can see Mr. McClain up close and personal.
And I'm gonna also give out my email. So if anyone has a question, comment, as a professor of mine used to say, question, comments, or rude remarks, you can make them at forwardtogether2016@outlook.com.
All right, give it to him one more time.
Forwardtogether2016@outlook.com.
And together is spelled out, right?
Yes, together is spelled all the way out.
All right, so there you have. Once again, we are speaking with Mr. David McClain, candidate for Jonesboro City Council, Ward 6, Position 2.
So I just want to encourage you all, go online, take a survey, express your concerns. There are some spaces where you can actually type in and more detailed answer for some of the questions. This is your opportunity to let him know what you need, what you feel concerning the city that you live in. Things are only going to get better if they know what needs to get better. So this is your time to speak up and not be quiet. And again, this goes for all of the wards. You know, reach out to all of the aldermen and all those that are running,
and all the mayoral candidates as well.
Oh, don't forget, please tune in to KLEK October 17th through the 24th.
Mayor's Week.
So this will be your opportunity to get to hear and see the mayors, hear their their stance on the issues. And also we will be interviewing various other candidates running for the other offices here on KLEK. So please tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. So, okay, so Mr. David, let's wrap up and get again. You're running. What are your passions? You know, give the people something to say why they should vote for you.
Well, I would say you need to vote for me because I want to help move Jonesboro forward. Okay. I want to help us. I want to move forward together, not just by myself or with a certain group. Okay. But we want to make sure everybody moves forward together. That's my slogan. That's been my slogan since I started. We want to move everybody. We want to move forward together. Okay. Because I want Jonesboro. I do want Jonesboro to be a place where people choose to live, and where they choose to live, work, and raise their family. And because I believe Jonesboro is at a very pivotal time. This election is going to be very key to moving us forward. The decisions we make right now will impact us for the next 30 years, and we have to have that vision. We have to have that mindset where we don't see today's. We don't have that micro level. We have to have a macro level as well. So that's why I'm running, and that's why I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your support. I'm asking for any type of support you want to give. We're asking for it because we want to move forward together, and that's why.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. And remember, his survey will be available up until Election Day, which is November the 8th. But you can do, when is early voting?
Early voting starts October 24th. And the last day to register to vote is October 10th. So make sure that you are registered to vote. Just contact Mr. Cade Holliday at the Craighead County Clerk's office, I believe, and he can get you the information.
Don't just register, actually vote.
Yeah, like President Obama said, don't boo, vote. We want to thank Mr. McClain for stopping by the studio. He is a candidate for Jonesboro City Council Ward 6 position 2. KLEK and the Voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council does not endorse nor support any candidate for office, nor was any compensation provided for this interview. This interview was provided for informational purposes only. You have the information. Check out what he has to say. Check out what his opponent has to say. Check out what all of the candidates for all of the office have to say, and then when you step into that booth, you can become an informed voter. We got about 2 minutes left, so I'm gonna.
Oh, one thing I want to mention right quick, there are also 7 initiatives on the ballot. So while you're also voting for your local, state and local representatives, and please read those initiatives. There is a brochure, there's a booklet available online and through the county clerk. So learn what those initiatives are, learn all the details about them so that you know what you're voting for.
And we'll also share the link to those, or where you can get more about those initiatives as well on the KLEK social media. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, community parking sale plus pancake breakfast too. Whistle Stop Bistro and Catering, 5435 East Nettleton Avenue. Come set up and sell your unwanted goods, or even if you don't have any stuff out of your garage that you want to sell. If you sell arts and crafts, if you sell books, if you sell produce, the only thing that you can't sell is cooked food, because we're going to be offering a pancake breakfast. But if you got anything that you want to sell, then come out tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock a.m. Just $10 to reserve a space. This is a KLEK fundraiser. We will broadcast live, so we will bring lots of traffic to the event. You can see the brand new KLEK van with the lights and the nice little pretty wrap as well. So we hope to see you tomorrow morning. We're going to hold it down from 6 a.m. to about noon. It's the KLEK Community Parking Sale plus Pancake Breakfast 2. Once again, that is tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock a.m. during the Saturday morning tailgate. So you're going to play that blues and Southern soul as well. You guys be blessed. Have a great rest of your day and have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you tomorrow morning at Whistle Stop, and we will see you next week right here on Community Conversations. This is KLEK 102.5 FM.